appreciate that. I'm going to talk to you about what I do and why it's important. And there were some words this morning that really struck me, and I thought, that's exactly why Stefan's asked me here to talk about this tonight. Because whilst I work with incredible technology and distribution companies, retailers, travel companies, my point of excellence, my point of difference is I have been customer and consumer-centric for 30 years now. I've studied them all over the world. I've worked with incredible partners like Disney and Amex and Klarna and Marks and Spencer's, all about consumer centricity. I don't prefer the word obsession. Personally, I feel that goes a little bit too far. But what I want to talk to you about is why I want to challenge some of the sentiment that was made this morning, which is consumers just want to buy on price. They don't. They do not. They will revert to that if you give them nothing else. Who agrees with that statement? Good, we're going to get along just fine then. I want to tell you what I'm seeing, what I'm hearing, and I'm so delighted to be a partner with Deliver because I think this voice is a really integral part of the conversation we have here at Deliver too. And I'm going to give you some joy because I'm called the joy maker, and I really find it's important in these challenging times with everything we're dealing with economically to know that there is still leverage to make an impact with sales. Feeling good about that? Let's do 10 minutes crash course then. Okay, so the science of shopping, what customers want. How did I get where I was going? Quick background on me, but you're more than welcome to Google. You can Google Kate Hardcastle, two things will come up. A porcelain doll, that is not me, and me. The porcelain doll's after a very famous novel called She Stoops to Conquer with a very problematic young lady called Kate Hardcastle. She was kind of the heroine, quite cool, but she's in porcelain figurine. Worth a fortune, I am not. But there's me. So have a look at my background, but I have three main areas. I broadcast, so now have been over, I think it's 2,000 pieces of TV and media, documentaries, information. I write and I speak, but my predominant function is as an advisor to organizations. I am the voice of the consumer in the boardroom. I am there to see outside in. I'm there to help your organizations improve. And sometimes the smallest change can make the biggest difference when it comes to P&L. So I just want to remind you why we do buy. Because we buy emotionally. And if you just kind of are disconnecting with that a little minute, let's just place our feet on the ground, ground ourselves as consumers. I want to think about the things you've bought recently. I want to think about you feeling frustrated because you tried to return something and it was really difficult and annoying. Do you remember that return? Why would they just not make it simple for you? Or maybe you were really passionate about something. Or maybe you were really frustrated and you bought yourself something just to feel better. Or maybe you felt better and bought yourself something even bigger because you wanted to celebrate yourself. Recognize any of these? This is buying emotionally. This is how we shop. We buy food when we're hungry. We buy food when we're sad. We buy food when we're happy. All of this counts. But if you're just going to connect on price, you will only ever get a response on price. Okay, so 90% of buying decisions on non-essential items are still emotional. And do you know what that means to me? That means I can change your opinion at point of sale, at point of purchase, through social media, and I can trigger you into buying my goods. I can do that because I know how to connect with people emotionally. And that's what organizations need to do. But I'm going to put a huge caveat to that. And that is it has to be authentic. It has to be as truthful as the consumer expects. And this is the word that I never, ever, ever hear in any boardroom. When it comes to the consumer, it has to be respectful. And there is not enough two-way respect. And that's what we've got to start integrating in the process. Now, I am only going to show you one piece of jargon because I don't have very long today because we're getting on to pool party time. But this is the philosophy I'm known for. Who remembers Maslow's hierarchy of needs from uni or college? You do? This is Hardcastle's hierarchy of needs. Okay? It's simple, it's easy. Take a picture or buy the book, even better. But this is how it works. So, these are all the things that summarize the impact of what consumers consider, think, need to be aware of, need to understand. Now, let me tell you the next thing. There is no logical order to this. Give you a case in point. Young person, sees a documentary, passionate about environment, passionate about doing the right thing, passionate about sustainability. She is the person who's going to teach her parents how to recycle. She is the person that is going to complain when her mum and dad don't do the right thing. And she is also the young person who just sees something from a fast fashion company and is going to buy it because it's only $5 online. Recognize that? That's buying emotionally. This is the ever-transferring hierarchy of needs. And what we have to do is quite magical. Incredible simple. You will push back at me tonight when you are buying me a drink. And you'll say, Kate, that's common sense. And I'll say, you didn't buy that drink, it's a free bar. But it is. But you know what about common sense? The thing is, not many people do it, my lovelies, and that is why there is a huge opportunity. So I work with emotions all of the time. I personalize experience with organizations. We create storytelling. We create sensory marketing. But what we're doing is we're making sure there is a golden thread in everything I do, which is ensuring that it feels like that brand. Who's a brand owner here? Who's making sure they've got Coca-Cola consistency in what they're doing? It's, Dr. Pepper's. Dr. Pepper consistency in what they're doing. You've got to make sure. So, values matter to customers today. That doesn't mean they live by them at all times. No one in this area is saying the customer's always right. But the customer's always got to be respected. And that's what we need to do. They're under this paradox of values. And they're inconsistent. And they're shape-shifting. And they're evolving. And that is challenging to read the room. Because you think it's about price, because you think it's about fast delivery. It's a whole mix and mess of it. It's chaotic for them because they are digitally distressed. They have so much going on in their mind. They're trying to find sanity. And sometimes it will be about getting the school shoes on time. Sometimes it will be about buying the bigger birthday present because they feel guilty because maybe they weren't there. Sometimes it will be because they just want to. This is okay. This is the new norm. And it's the agility of organizations and the brilliance of making sure, yes, you're understanding data, but you apply a layer of emotional intelligence over it that will be all of the difference. So in this need for information, in this digital distress era, what do we need to do? We need to keep it simple. We need to keep it consistent. We need to make sure that our teams and our culture shine through on the statements we're putting out there. Who here has dealt with an individual in their life who always said one thing and did another? Because I don't think that person is someone that you would trust or feel confident on gameplay, right? How do you think it feels when a brand does that? Absolutely disrespectful. Doesn't feel good to that consumer. And then they are twice as shy to trust you again. And that is still why service matters. It's not just because I want to be served and bow down to and feel important. It's because I want an interaction that feels human. I want to feel that I can trust and be part of something that feels real to me, something that feels right to me. Are you with me so far? Yes, of course. This is common sense, Kate. But how little do you see it in business life? Far too infrequently. And it's got to change because we will be backed up by the AI. I am an absolute coding freak. I love tech. I love everything it does, but it's going to enable us. We have to bring the human touch. And we have generations of young people coming through who have been brought up as digital natives. And therefore, actually, our emphasis has to really go into putting the human back. And we're going to have to take time with that, and we're going to have to get it right. So if I had to think about all of my examples from the theme parks that I work in, to the spa industry, to the distribution and logistic companies I work with, there's these kind of keys to excellent service for me. It's all about attention to detail. I can change profit like that. It's the minutiae, the consistent quality, because I want to keep getting what you told me you'd send me. Am I right, AV team? Am I right? Do I want this microphone to be working 100% of the time all day? Yes, I do. That's what we want. And personal touches, because I just don't want to feel like a number. I want to feel like I exist. Let me tell you something. We're all narcissistic, becoming ever more so. Social media has made it important for us to take pictures of ourselves on our lunches and tell everyone what we're doing. And now we've got a sense that actually people think that's important. It's okay. We're self-important. We're becoming more selfish. These are things I observe. These are things I'm helping guide you on. Because if we know what the playing field is, it's a lot easier to play the game. People are distressed They're sad, they're frustrated, they're annoyed, they're challenged. We've got mental health issues on the increase. So guess what, folks? People want joy. And it's okay for us to deliver that. It's okay for us to genuinely reach out to them and bring the happy stuff in abundance. We can do that, but we also need to do it culturally. And that's where I spend most of my time, helping organizations deliver that piece culturally, because it's one thing to say, create sensory marketing, create retail theatre. It's another thing when the pop-up's there. I was in LA at the weekend at incredible pop-up activations. The product's there. The giveaways are there. The swag bags. But then the people stood there. Gone. Marketing, investment, ROI, zero. So, we need to be memorable. We need to make sure it's something unique to our brand. Do not copy-paste. You do not have to. Just because your competitors are doing it doesn't mean you have to do it. Doesn't mean it fits for you. You've got to find what your true north is. You've got to make sure it's consistency all the way through. Don't just give me it good one time, and then once you've acquired me as a customer, let me down repeatedly. It's not what I want. And then once we've found those expectations, and ideally, by perhaps under-promising and over-delivering, rather than over-promising and under-delivering, we exceed them. I just wanted to bring you a little example of how it works. I don't have a favorite brand. I don't have a retailer that's doing it well. I don't have an organization that I celebrate. I like a lot of what everyone's doing, because this is my guiding principle. I don't think any of us get up to do a bad job in the morning. So I'm just trying to understand that people will have fluctuating rates of delivery, and I'm trying to get above 70%. But I just wanted to give you this, because in a world where you think it's all driven by price, in a world where you think that's all the customer's interested in, right now, in Paris, in the Galeries Lafayette, in Selfridges and Harrods in London, in incredible FAO Schwartz in New York, there is a queue of over 1 hour. Do you know what all of those queues, those lines are for? It's for people to spend $60 minimum. Do you know what they're going to spend the $60 on? One piece of plush. Why are people in line in all of these stores for one piece of plush for $60? Because they are queuing for a brand called Jellycat, and they are at a Jellycat experience. Now, a Jellycat experience, who's heard of them? Put your hands up so I can see. Right up just so I can see. Because, this bit's the most humbling for me. So if I'm going to do it, I need to know I'm doing it for everyone in the audience. Okay. So the one in FAO Schwartz is an American diner. You can see it behind me. And you can buy these pieces of plush, a pancake, a waffle. They're around $60. You have to book 3 months in advance. This is apparently where it's all about price. And you get in line for the appointment that you've booked and paid for. And eventually, when it's your turn, a shop worker, a store colleague, who's also incredible acting skills, dressed up as someone who would work in an American diner, takes your plush from you, a grown adult in most cases, puts that plush in a frying pan, and pretends to fry it. You think I'm joking. I'm not joking. And they pretend to fry it by making noises. Would you like to hear the noise they make? You do. You want to make me feel bad, don't you? Go on, because it's Halloween and real. So, okay, thank you so much, sir. Here we go. You're having the pancake today. Fantastic. There's your pancake. Here's my pan. I am not joking. This happens repeatedly every day. People are making noises of a frying pan to grown adults who are paying $60 for the experience. And you think it's about price. You think it's about price. It isn't about price. Yes, it configures. Yes, it's in there. But when we are playing, I had to invent a word. I was doing this for a broadcast. I had no idea I called it onomatopoeia in the world, in the end. We're in a world where people are paying $60 to have a moment of joy, to fry your fake plush and put it in a box through an American diner experience. It's fish and chips in Harrods, by the way, or Selfridges it might be, and the Galeries Lafayette, it's croissant. Of course it is. I'm not sure what they do to the croissant, maybe they roll it, but that's where your money is. That's why joy works. That's why it's important. We have to live our values on sustainability too. I am running out of time. Tailoring without overstepping, really important. One of the people on the panel this morning said they'd had 6 emails from an organization before breakfast. Just because you can doesn't mean you should. I'm going to leave you on this. Let's make sure this is the plateau era, people. Let's make sure we get better. Let's map the emotional journey of our customers. Let's invest in small moments of joy. Let's create seamless digital and physical connections, and let's make sure our emotion triggers shaping purchases, because the future is going to lie in emotion, in trust, and innovation. Thank you for your time today. I hope that was helpful. Excellent. I'm bringing a little bit of joy, and that feels good. Would you like to win some awards now? Let's do it.